Hello, Floss Tube. We're on to volume, or not volume, I guess, video number 3. And I cannot thank you enough for all the support and encouragement and kind words as I dip my toe into the Floss Tube world. I do have to warn you ahead of time that I have never been known to do things gently. I come from a long line of genetics. I can't call it ADHD because, and I used to always say, oh, you know, like everyone, oh, I'm HD, you know, ADHD. Attention Deficit Hyperactive Disorder. I would say I come from a long family line of attention focus hyperactive disorder, because when we get excited about something, we are all in. And I can remember as a teenager, my father, when he really wanted to get into sailing, he bought every conceivable thing that a sailboat needed. And our sailboat would go down in the water from the sheer weight of his stuff. And so that's me. I have all the quilting rulers, I have all the quilting books, I have every thread conceivable, and I am the same way with cross stitch. I can tell I'm all in. And so when we would do a sailboat race, we would have to empty the boat and all his equipment would be on the dock, and the draft, the boat would literally come out of the water like a foot, and everybody would howl because they knew what he was like. And guess what? His daughter's like that too. So I am hitting the cross stitch world pretty darn hard for myself. I'm all organized. Now you'll see that in video number 3 I'm in a different spot. That's because G's out bike riding and I'm in his chair. His chair in the TV room, we just have 2 of these chairs. It's a very small room and there's just 2 of these chairs, and I have the other chair because this chair has his laptop table built into it, and he does a lot of editing, and he runs our television from this point, so all the wires and electronic are down here. But when he's not here, I sit in this chair because the light is fantastic and the view is awesome. I can see the Three Sisters Mountains and it's just a lovely spot. So it's kind of like when you're not home, the dog jumps on your bed. That's what it's like. I'm in G's chair. And this is where I am doing most of my cross stitch, because I'm not doing it up in the beehive where I have done the previous 2 videos. It's down here because this is where I moved all the cross stitch. So I have the cross stitch dreams in one bucket in the cabinet, and then the cross stitch kitted things in the other, which I would call those dreams. And then I have this kind of like a farm bucket thing that I have the things that I'm working on currently in there, and they're out where I can see them. I have really been busy. I never do anything part way. I'll just have to tell you the story so you kind of get where this brain works. When I was in my 40s, when I turned 40 actually, I made a life list. And some of you may have heard this story before, but there might be a lot of you that haven't. So I'm repeating myself. My girlfriend says when you start getting old and you start telling the same stories again, your children are going to start doing this. But anyway, when I was 40, when I turned 40, I made a life list of things that I wanted to accomplish so that I could check them off when I did them. And one of the things, this just shows you how my brain works. One of the things I wanted to do was experience what it would be like to play a grand piano, and no, I don't play the piano. Play a grand piano on stage in front of an audience. I wonder what that would feel like. So I called up and found a piano teacher, and I spent 6 months learning one 4-page song. Yes. And then that particular piano teacher would have a recital of all her students up at the college, and each student would get up on stage and play the grand piano. Okay, so I'm the only adult. Yeah, I'm the only adult. But I walked up on stage, flunked my dress, and sat down on the bench, and I played my 4-page song on the piano, and then I bowed and left the stage. And I thought, wow, that's pretty darn awesome. Yeah, okay, so you get it. And now we're here at cross stitch. But the difference is I'm not giving up cross stitch. That was the end of my concert piano history. Cross stitch has been in my life for a while. It's just been in the back room, and now it's out front, and I am still like going gaga over it. And it doesn't help that you people out there that have gotten me hooked on Floss tube, and you know who you are. The designers have their, all these designers, whether they are selling in a shop or selling in their Etsy shop, they have these Floss tube channels, and so as I'm watching, I'm also opening the page on how to order that. Yeah, so now my dream list has gotten a little longer this week. But I wanted to show you what you've inspired me to do, because it really has been your inspiration. I finished, yeah, it's a finish, but I'm always looking for ways to finish things in a different way. And so I found this box. It's a Halloween box. You see that? And it was at Joann's. And it's so cute. And it was, let me see how much it was. Originally $9.99, 60% off. So, duh. And it already has all the spooky things on it. See? And then you open it and there's spookiness inside. But look at what I loaded on top. I finished my... I just loved this. And this was a free download from Primitive Hair. And Kitchen is the Witch's Lab. And for you who have been around me for a while on Quilt Roadies, you know the kitchen is a dangerous place for me. So what I'm especially proud of, and that it is all due to watching so many of you on FlossTube who are brave, is that I normally only follow the pattern and the thread choices. But I didn't particularly care for this, some of these thread choices, and it was mostly black and then the gold. I can't even tell you what count this fabric was on because it was just a scrap piece. But I thought, witches always choose to cook with substances that are a puke green. So why would I put black steam on my piece? what I found out was that there isn't a thread called puke green. No. So I had to go through my pile and found pea pod. And so that's what I did. Pea pod on the little steam, and then I made all of the little stars of the gold color and then everything else black. And then I mounted it with a piece of batting onto a piece of cardboard, glued it down, and then hand stitched this little satin braid onto my actual piece there before I glued it down. And so I'm just tickled. I'm tickled. It's going to sit on my kitchen counter with candy in it. Not the candy you pass out, but the candy for G and I. So I'm kind of really tickled that I got that done. Then I got another thing done. Yay! Remember those boxes that I told you I got at Crafter's Warehouse that were $5.99? Well, I painted it. I painted it a cream color. But I've decided I'm going to paint the inside bottom here a blue color. So I'm going to do that. But otherwise, it's finished. The whole outside is painted with a cream, just a plain cream color. And then I mounted that. Isn't that adorable? That's that Jeanette Douglass. And remember, this box came with a canvas that you were supposed to paint. Well, it's buried under there. And I put a piece of batting, glued it all down, and then I did hand stitch again that black braid around the outside of the canvas. And so now I have this very sweet box. So I'm quite proud of myself, you know. But that's what happens when I get super excited about something, then it's like a whirlwind around here. I did find out from Kelly, who left a comment, that actually patterns have the count and the stitch numbers on them. I didn't know that. I don't think I ever read that. I'm not sure I want to know that. I think if you found out, oh, it has a gazillion stitches to finish it, would you still do it? Maybe, maybe. But, yeah. And so then, I love all these comments that come on because, you know, it's like, we're like, you know, encouraging each other, and misery loves company. No, we're too happy to be miserable. But Tammy told me to be sure to go get the cross-stitch Halloween issue. And when I was at Joann's, they had one copy left. So I got this copy. And it has several things in it that are going to be added. Oh, I mean, going to be added to my, I'm going to make this someday. I just love this one too. Can you see that? Is it too dark in here? But spooky stitching. I can't thank you enough, Tammy. And then I have a question for you all. Nancy, who left a comment, said there's apps that help you do your cross-stitch counting and how to determine your fabric size. And so I would like to find out what apps you're actually using. Which ones are your favorites? Because when I went to look at the apps, there were so many of them that I wasn't sure which one to pick. And so if you could leave in the comments below which app, if you use one, which one you use. I would appreciate that. I did want to show off my Caddy cross stitches mat that I got from my friend Mary, and I asked her to make it out of this bee fabric. But I love this, and I have it sitting next to me in the room here. And underneath her little label right there is a magnet, so it kind of keeps track of my scissors. And then this is for my pile of thread that happens to be here. Eventually she's going to be mass selling her little kit bags and these mats. I'm hoping she gets going on that. And as I watched To Martini Stitcher, I like the concept of, I know that they do homework, and you know, had I known about all of this in January, I know I probably would have jumped on that Harry Potter thing, because G and I are all about Harry Potter. But I'm glad I didn't, because I'm over homework. But I like the thing that To Martini Stitcher said about, you know, keeping track, a journal of her whips and stuff. And so I brought out this absolutely adorable fabric book that was made for me by one of the viewers on the Quilt Roadie channel. And it is a absolutely adorable book. And I just realized I must have been opening this book with one page stuck in, because there was a card in here that I never knew was in here. Oh my gosh, how sweet is that? Oh, Angela from New Zealand, way down under. Hey, you know, I have two friends that are coming. Oh, there's a sweet, oh, there's this whole letter that was tucked in there that I never knew was in there. Oh, it's like finding a treasure. I'm going to have to spend some private time and read that. But I love this little fabric book, and I am going to list all of my works in progress and all of my dreams, my stitching dreams in here. And that, what I mean by stitching dreams is the ones that I have patterns for that haven't been started. I don't want to call them UFOs, because they're not really. I haven't started them. They're just dreams, but I want to keep track of them. And so I think I will, I'm going to be using this book to keep track of all that. Oh, it's so sweet. I just love that. Now on to, oh, let me show you what I've done. So I found out from a couple friends that they keep their patterns in binders, and I have decided to be somewhat organized. It kind of freaked me out how many there were, but I do buy quite a few patterns as PDFs where you download it and print it yourself. And so that is what I did with this one. You know, I might have showed you that, but I just so love that, from Luminous Fiber Arts. So I've decided to, all the paper patterns, the ones that aren't on cardstock and the ones that I haven't bought the actual physical pattern from a shop, but I've downloaded it off the internet, I have put in this binder. And I love Modern Folk. The Rooster Alphabet, I just love that. So I now have this binder filled with dreams in there. I feel quite organized. As far as progress, well, I got the 2 done, which I've already showed you, and because of all the support and the encouragement just by watching all of the floss tubes, I dug out my trees. So let me, oh, just excuse me for 1 second. None of this is edited, you know. So I'm still here. I'm just on the other side of the room. So I know that I know that the last time I showed this piece, someone asked me who this was by. And I printed, this is my working copy. And so I have printed it out. La Foresta de Panes, if I pronounce that correctly. There you go. So I did make some progress. I have, let's see, I can't tell if you can see this or not. I'm going to move the camera just a bit. No, that doesn't help. Sorry about this. Not edited, not edited. Oh, there we go. So that tree right there, since the last time we spoke, I have started a new tree right here. And I can't thank enough with this particular project. What has made a huge difference for me is that, I think I heard this on Michelle Bendy's site. I'm thinking, I love those young stitchers. They seem to, you know, they're younger. The synapses are firing quicker, and they are innovative. And so I get ideas from them. I just love that. And I think it was on her site, and duh, you would have thought I would have figured something like that out myself, that when she has a big line of cross stitches, she like does half a stitch all the way across, but every time she comes to number 10, she crosses it. And then she goes 10 more, and then 20, she crossed it. So then she doesn't have to go back and count how many stitches. She knows that that's 10, that's 20, that's 30. That has made a huge difference to this project for me. But I unrolled it just to kind of give you, I know it's got a lot of folds in it. I'm going to take a lot of that flatter to get that out, but it's gorgeous. So I am now working on the next tree. And it's definitely a work in progress because it is long. So this is what my pattern looks like that I'm working on right now. And I color it in as I go along. And so here I am on this tree right here. And I'm coloring it as I go. So I only have all this ground stuff and 2 trees left to get this sheet, the second sheet done, and then it is on to sheet number 3. And I have to tell you, these trees here, oh, I could have a potty mouth for sure, because those trees, if you look at all the exits, it's just like, but the best part of those trees is if you make a mistake, no one's going to see it. In fact, when I frame it and have it hanging up high, people are going to think I'm a sheer genius, because they are not going to see all the ones that were a mess. And so that is what I have been working on since yesterday. I really want to start something new, and I am struggling a little bit with that, because sometimes I'm like a dog that just wants to chew on one bone. And that's the other thing, is that I learned about monogamous stitchers, and I don't know what the other one's called. But I have only been monogamous with once in my life, and that's with the guy I married. Everything else in my life is a free-for-all. So the concept of just being monogamous and working on something till it's done, I'm thinking that might not be my thing. Thank goodness it was with my marriage, but I'm thinking for my stitching, it's going to end up being like my quilting life, which is a free-for-all. And so I'm going to have to decide. I'll let you know next video what the new start is, because I feel a new start. I don't know, I feel a new start. And why not? Why not? So thank you. Thank you for sitting here and listening to me. I know I ramble. And thank you so much for your acceptance, embracing, comments, and subscribing. And if you want to know when the next one comes up, click that little bell and then you'll get the notice. And we'll see you in the next video.